Slade Wilson, Deathstroke, is going after the Titans and the Teen Titans in what will be one of the best Teen Titans stories in a long time. We will get to learn the truth behind Slade Wilson's family, and a continuation to the famous Judas Contract story from the 80s. I'm Brian from BMA Comics Con, and today we're going to look at part 1 of the 4-part Lazarus Contract, which will cross over from Titans, Teen Titans, and Deathstroke. It begins with a flashback back to when Dick Grayson and Wally West were kids on the Teen Titans, and they were being attacked by Slade Wilson's oldest son, the first Ravanger. Ravanger could hold up against the Teen Titans because Hive, the people that hired him to kill the Teen Titans, gave him heightened abilities similar to his father. Problem was, his body couldn't handle it, and he died in the middle of the battle in his father's arms. It was that day Deathstroke vowed the Teen Titans would pay for the death of his son. That's how the Judas Contract came about, but that's not what this story is about. Deathstroke awakes in a hospital bed, recovering from an eye transplant he was unaware of. If you haven't been following the current Deathstroke comic, then you don't know that Deathstroke was blinded, so just know now he's back to normal. 2 hours later, the Titans are on a rooftop fighting what they believe to be Hive henchmen, but after beating them, they realize that they were sent by someone who calls himself Lazarus, and he was told to tell them the deal was off. Omen senses Nightwing might know something about it, but he denies it, and everyone else is looking for clues. Everyone except Wally West, that is. Flash is suddenly missing. 1 hour later, Flash wakes up in a dark room tied up on a treadmill. Someone was skilled and fast enough to kidnap the fastest man alive in broad daylight and in front of his friends. This person doesn't reveal himself to Wally yet. He just turns up the treadmill and forces Wally to run faster. He is able to do this because he has drugged Wally with something that takes away his inhibitions, that and shocking him. But now that they can speak freely, Wally tells him everything he wants to know. He tells him about the Teen Titans when he was on the team, and about how he was trapped in the time stream, even about how history was changed, and about how speedsters can use the Speed Force to go back in time. Wally finally recognizes the voice he's been talking to as Deathstroke. Now that Deathstroke has revealed himself, he reveals his intentions and offers Flash a deal. If Flash helps him save his son Ravanger, Slade will give up being Deathstroke. As tempting as that offer is, Wally insists that you can't change the past, you must keep going forward. But Slade insists and begins to shock Wally into submission. But then Flash vibrates himself out of his shackles and goes after Slade. And Slade asks him one more time if Wally will do his job as a hero and save his son. But Wally again must decline. But that doesn't stop Deathstroke. He has a contingency plan. Will Slade end up going back in time? What will be the consequences of time travel? How did he capture Wally West without anyone noticing? These are the questions I have for the next issue, which will take place next week in Teen Titans number 8. Please, subscribe if you want to know what happens next. The writers of Titans, Teen Titans, and Deathstroke came together to write this issue. I hope that the story ends up being as good as its predecessor, the Judas Contract, which was Deathstroke's original revenge and obligation to defeat the Teen Titans after the death of his son. I don't like the way they did like the movie and updated the Teen Titans roster to match the current team. The movie is one thing, but why retcon the comics? They could have blamed the roster change on the stolen years. To a brighter side, I like Booth's artwork here. Deathstroke looks great. Not just him, I just really like Deathstroke's costume. And just to let you know, Kid Flash, aka the New 52 Wally West, he did not know the secret identity of the Wally West Flash till now. And it wasn't that long ago that Barry Allen trusted him with his secret identity. Also, they've been throwing around this pizza fish company in the background of the Titans for a long time now, and I want to know what that is. It's even in the retconned flashback to the 80s version of the Teen Titans. If anyone knows what that is, please leave it down in the comments. I'm going to continue the Lazarus Contract, so look out next week for part 2. Also, if you need a refresher on the Judas Contract, let me know and I'll try and get a video recapping that story. Please, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Until next time, Brian out.